welcome to TalkFCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys. It's Napoli against Barcelona in the round of 16 stage, and that, of course, calls for a tactical preview. In today's video, we're going to be looking at Quique Setién's Barcelona side coming up against here the grit and the determination of Gennaro Gattuso's Napoli. It's all coming up, what we can expect, the two teams head-to-head. Without further ado, let's do this. Because if we first of all look at the coaches in their own right and the style they're going to try and implement on their teams in this game, starting here with Quique Setién, his first ever Champions League game as coach. And I think from Setién, we are going to see a different Barcelona to what we've seen right throughout the group stage, especially here in away games. We are going to be looking for the ball. We're going to be looking there to have that element of control. At times, people may say that it's predictable in our passing. We are going to see a lot of playing the ball around the back four. We're going to see it working through midfield. But I think with Setién, what he's going to try and do in this kind of game is just get on top of Napoli, just manage the occasion, try and take the crowd out of the game by basically dominating your opponents. We may create chances, we may find a way through, but ultimately there, have the ball, use it in the right way, and also what that does, of course, is try to neutralise the threat of your opponent, try and stop those chances coming down the other end on our own goal. And I think Setién here, in these kind of games, hopefully his Barcelona side will come to life. And then there is Gattuso, who I would actually say there is not sort of a major tactician in terms of the coach that he is. He was exactly the same when he was at AC Milan, and I wouldn't really say that Gattuso has a clear identity really in terms of style of play that he really transmits to his players. However, on the mental side of things, on the side of getting the maximum out of every player in terms of effort, in terms of commitment, and especially here in handling the pressure in big games, I think there Gattuso, he does give this team the edge. And I think in this particular game, on this kind of occasion, he could be crucial there on the side of Napoli, because you look at their recent results and they've had some big results in big games. That's the important thing here. Napoli will be ready for this. Gattuso will demand the absolute best from his players, and we've got to be ready. We have to be ready here for the threat that Napoli will bring. They're not a team here who dominate the ball. They're not a team here who are going to get on top of you every minute of every game, but they are going to run. They are going to try and create chances. We must be ready for everything they're going to throw at us. But if we do start here by looking at the possible team selections from both teams heading into this game, starting here with the host Napoli, and certainly many of their team is very much decided. You can see that in Gattuso's recent selections, but a number of players there are open for a bit of debate. The positions there are not completely locked down. In goal, we are going to see there David Ospina, the former Arsenal goalkeeper. We're going to see Mario Rui at left back alongside Maksimovic, and Manolas there, of course, we know him from his days at Roma. What I would say there, a big miss for Napoli. No Koulibaly coming into this game. A fantastic centre-back both with the ball and defensively. He's not ready to play this game through injury. Also there at right-back, Di Lorenzo is most likely to start. And then we move into midfield. You've got Zielinski, I think is a fantastic midfielder there, alongside Fabian Ruiz. You can say exactly the same there about him. We're going to talk about him in just a moment's time. And then that holding midfield role there at Napoli is very much up for grabs. They've sort of rotated in that area in recent weeks. They've also had injury problems. Only recently has Alan come back into the reckoning, but I think that if he's fit, if he's ready to play this game, on his day, he can be a brilliant midfield player there, very much box to box. He gets around the pitch and covers a lot of ground. He could play there in that midfield. Then up to the forward line, you've got Lorenzo Insigne on that left-hand side, Napoli's talisman, of course, and their captain. You've got Dries Mertens leading the line, and then on the right-hand side, they've got a few options. They've got Politano, they brought him in January. They've got somebody out there like Jose Callejon. Elmas as well is another player that's been used by Gattuso in recent weeks, but I think there possibly Gattuso in this area is going to go for Callejon. A bit of pace there, somebody who'll keep his width, but also that experience. On this kind of night, you need to load up with that experience, and I think there, that's the Napoli team that if they're all fit and ready, we could be seeing. And then it is over to the side of Barcelona, starting in goal there with undoubtedly Marc-Andre ter Stegen. The back four is pretty solid too. I would say there's certainly Junior Firpo is going to be on that left-hand side. There's no Jordi Alba still, and also Nelson Semedo is going to be there because there's no Sergio Roberto through injury. Gerard Piqué there at centre-back, and then the one question would be, is it going to be Clement Longley? Is it going to be Samuel Umtiti? Which player is Setién going to go with in this game? And that's really going to give us a big indication of who he sees first there in in that pecking order. And I think possibly we are going to see Clément Lenglet alongside Gerard Piqué. You've got Busquets in midfield. You've got Frenkie de Jong for sure. They were both given a little bit of a rest on the weekend against Eibar for parts of that game. Alongside de Jong, I think in this game we have to see, and I do believe we will see, Arthur Melo. He played very, very well at the weekend against Eibar. He's coming back into it now. He's getting his physical condition right back to where it should be. Arthur, de Jong, Busquets, and then who's that additional player going to be? Is it going to be there somebody in that central area? Is it going to be somebody there out to the left-hand side, maybe as part of a front three? But I think in this game, like we saw on the weekend, it's going to be Arturo Vidal. I don't think here we're going to see Ansu Fati. There's no Martin Braithwaite, of course. He can't play in the Champions League. So I think once again there we are going to see Vidal dropping in behind the forwards, and maybe at times, as I'm going to show you in a moment, playing off to that left-hand side. And so if we now start to look at those teams when they're coming head-to-head, exactly what it's going to look like there out on the field. And if we start there by highlighting in particular the positioning of Arturo Vidal, how that could be significant, and how that team will shape up really in this midfield area. Because I think Arthur, de Jong, Busquets, very, very important there to control the tempo of the game, to really dominate that possession in the way that Quique Setién would want. But I think Vidal is very, very important if he plays in not only that attacking transition here when that ball is making its way through midfield and of course, and then linking the forwards, bringing those into play as much as you possibly can. But I also think he's very, very important. Say Napoli here, playing out of the back. We, of course, want to press high. We want to make sure that we're winning the ball as high up the pitch as we possibly can. And Vidal is also very, very important when you may see him come over to this left-hand side in terms of that high press. He's going to come out there to meet Napoli head-on. He's going to make sure there that we're getting nice and high up the field and then getting the right shape we need to win that ball up high and hopefully win that ball back from Napoli as quickly as we possibly can. So that there'll be the role of Vidal, not only there linking that play, but also very, very aggressive in his press. And of course, with him, you've always got that intensity. And in particular, there is one player on the side of Napoli that I want to highlight, and we have to make sure here that he doesn't go under the radar, because here you see maybe Napoli a player at the back, maybe then they'll try and work it down the left-hand side. And I feel as though Mario Rui has become a really, really important player under Gattuso. A lot of Napoli's play comes down that left-hand side, and we've got to watch out for him for a number of reasons. Number one, if he's going down that left-hand side there, if he's going to carry the ball or if he's just going to make a run and get picked out, we have a problem. If Messi here is going to come in central, you don't have then a right wing player to follow back, track back and stop that run from happening. What you've also got then is the complication of Lorenzo Insigne, because he's not just going to stay out wide here, and it's not going to be two players there occupying the same space. He's somebody there who for Napoli loves to come inside. He's very much so an inside forward, and what he's going to try and do is exploit that space there between Nelson Semedo and Gerard Piqué. So suddenly now you've either got a problem through Insigne, who can then supply Mertens, or you've got a problem there with Mario Rui making an unmarked run down this left-hand side. And like I say, he's very, very important. He'll get crosses into the box, he finds the space well, and he can certainly deliver that final ball. And the problem is, what we want to avoid at Barcelona is Napoli getting balls into the box, because it may not be Dries Mertens on the day, or maybe it will be Mertens for maybe the first half or the 60 minutes, but Milik has been coming back now into fitness. He has been a key player for Napoli in front of goal this season, and what we want to avoid is balls here coming into that area. Barcelona do not deal well with balls into the box. They don't deal well with crosses. We've seen that all season long. What you don't want there is Napoli with Mario Rui getting that space and time and then picking out the target in the area of Milik, a strong, tall target man. That's an area for me that we've got to recognise. Semedo there will need help from midfield. You'll need de Jong to go across there and cover. You'll also need Gerard Piqué there to be aware of that threat and covering behind when he needs to. But we need to make sure there that Rui doesn't go under the radar. However, it is very, very interesting because, yes, going forward, Mario Ruiz certainly can help with Napoli in their attacks, and he is a key player on that left-hand side. But I also feel as though this left side defensively for Napoli is one of the areas that we really have to try and exploit. And I think maybe we could see Messi stick more out on the right-hand side, because as Ruiz goes forward, maybe Messi there could be in a bit of space, a bit of time to work his magic. And I also feel as though the left centre-back here, Maksimovic, he's not Koulibaly. And that's a big, big player, like I say, missing there for Napoli, and we should try and play on that. You want to have Griezmann and Messi here in these kind of spaces looking to make the absolute most of that, and what you've also got to have here is Nelson Semedo. The one thing that can certainly keep Rui back is Semedo getting forward. You've got to have him here taking risks, making those runs in behind there, stretching the field, bringing Napoli back into cover from him, all the while Griezmann and Messi here inside those centre-backs. They're trying to create that space, they're trying to combine, and I think as the games have gone on, we have seen more combination play between these two. They did very, very well in the Champions League game at home, of course, against Borussia Dortmund. Could we see Messi and Griezmann once again taking centre stage? If it's going to happen, that left-hand side of Napoli with Rui and Maksimovic. Exploit those if we can. And the final note for me, guys, would all be surrounding Fabian Ruiz. Has become one of Napoli's most important players over the last season or so, and of course he's a player that has been linked to Barcelona. Over the past few months, he hasn't been in the best of form right throughout the season, but over the past few games, he's really back in form. He's back to his very much influential best in that Napoli's team, and that's been highlighted really by Fabian's direct contribution in Napoli's recent victories, because in all competitions this season, Fabian has featured there for 30 games for Napoli, scoring just 3 goals in total, but incredibly, and quite unfortunately for Barcelona, 2 of those last 3 goals have come in his last 3 games, and they really have been big goals for his team too. He scored the winner against Inter in Napoli's Coppa Italia semi-final first leg, and once again on Friday, the game before we play them, he scored another stunning winning goal with that left foot against Brescia. And the one thing that I have to say here, do not allow him space. Whatever you do, time and space, don't give Fabian Ruiz a single inch. Because as soon as he shifts that ball onto his left-hand side, he opens up the target. He can do it from range. He can do it inside the box, outside the box. Wherever he's playing, you have to keep a very close eye on him. Make sure we're closing him down. Make sure we're aware of where he is at all times. Keep a track on him, because he is a player that for Napoli can make the difference, not only in terms of shooting, but his technical play as well. He's a very, very good midfielder. We, in this game, the big message from me, be aware. So that there, guys, is how I see this game playing out between Napoli and Barcelona. I do believe it's going to be a very, very keenly contested contest, and it is going to be a close game. I don't feel as though we're going to see one side pull away from the other in this particular clash. But of course, for Barcelona, we've got our eye on getting a vital away goal, and hopefully a good result to go with that. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. How do you see this game playing out, and what are you expecting? I will see you soon. More videos coming up. But until next time, as always, Visca el Barça.